It's fascinating. We've obviously kind of heard the thunder in the background, so we're kind of aware that the Stoic gods are listening to some degree. I thought it'd be good to talk about Stoic tests. Obviously, you've got the Stoic Challenge, which is one of your books, which kind of goes into this quite heavily. But it's interesting to kind of view, I guess, setbacks. I think is the sort of way that you phrase them quite a lot, as ways that we're being tested by some kind of potentially fictional gods or whatever. If you're a Christian, like actual God, you could use. But kind of if we kind of stick with the idea of sort of fictional Stoic gods, this idea that there are things that are going to happen to us which we could frame once again in certain ways. So I'll pass it back to you, Bill, to chat about Stoic challenges.
Okay, so life gives us setbacks. We can take steps to reduce the number of setbacks we experience. For instance, the setback of being broke when you're old, one way you can reduce that is to, start planning for it and setting aside money for it. Even then, things can go wrong, in which case you realize, gosh, all of the plans I put down have still resulted in setbacks. And of course, people who don't plan at all and who don't go out of their way to try to take preventative steps, those people, their life will be a series of setbacks. It'll be setbacks every day. So, how can you deal with setbacks? One way, so we talked before about making a joke about an insult. And of course, an insult is one kind of setback, but you can have other setbacks. So, for instance, my wife and I went to New Zealand in February of this year, and a trip we had long planned and been hoping to do, and we'd heard great things about it. So to make sure we were able to enjoy it to the maximum, we self-quarantined for a month before, so we didn't want to get COVID during this thing. And so we got down there, and it's like a 21-day tour. On day 2, we both got COVID, and you can ask the question of, who'd we get it from? How did that happen? And, we don't know the answer. We don't know. But I was impressed by how quickly I transitioned to not our trip is ruined, but to this is going to be a great story to tell, right? So this is going to be a great story to share with people. And it's a test. It's a test in terms of, okay, so let's see, are we going to take this and are we just going to moan and complain about it? Or are we going to take it and are we going to see what we can make out of it? So we were kind of stranded in one hotel in Auckland. We were allowed to go out masked and things like that, and we did. And so we would have had a lot more to do had we been able to stay on the tour, but they said, nah, you guys stay away for 5 days. And then we rejoined the tour and we went on. But and that wouldn't, at one time in my life, that wouldn't have been the case. But now it's almost reflexive for me that when something bad happens, a setback happens, how quickly I use this technique. So the whole notion of it being a test. And so again, this is a cycle. We talked before about psychological devices, about how you can use religion as a kind of device. So you can say, well, I actually believe it, but it's also a device. And this is a device. You imagine these Stoic gods. They're like coaches. And what they want you to do is have a good life. So how do they accomplish that? Do they just give you whatever you want, and whatever you wish for? Do you have magic powers? No, they're like tough coaches. And they know that for you to have a good life, you need to have a wide comfort zone. And you need to be competent for you to have a good life on earth. Because you're not in not heaven, but you're not with them. So you're going to have the life of a human being. So like a good coach won't tell his athletes, you're all wonderful, just sit there, right? We got a big game coming up, so just kind of rest up for the big game. A good coach will really push the athletes and will say, give a workout. And then when the workout's allegedly done, said, that's a great warm up. Now let's do the workout, right? Just this whole pushing you to be a better you, and pushing you to broaden your comfort zone, and teaching you things that are going to be useful in the future. And so that's what this is about. When you treat something as a test, and you do this psychological maneuver. It's the Stoic gods. They want me to be a stronger human being, and they know they can't do it just by wishing it, that they have to present me with challenges that I'm capable, if I put myself to it, capable of dealing with. And if I deal with those challenges, I will come away more competent. I'll be a better problem solver. It won't wreck my day. In fact, I might get a sense of delight of, ooh, this is going to be a great story to tell. And for me, I'm surprised. It's now become reflexive response. Well, the whole thing about negative visualization is now reflexive. I'll find myself doing it just when I get a free moment. And this response to setbacks is along the same thing. Oh, this is an interesting test. I wonder how they came up with this test. Well, I'm going to show them. I'm up for it.
If you enjoyed this clip, then head on over to Locals to access the full conversation right now. Supporters can access the video version, and everyone can access the audio-only version of the conversation. I'll see you over there.